You will now open up the Virginia exercise quiz. You'll see here, you'll have your parameters page, which will tell you the regions, the size of each region, the difference between males and females within each one of the party categories. You will also have your raw data that you will have received from the exercise, along with the instruction page, which includes the questions. You will then use those questions to open up an Excel SPSS file and put in your labels and your values to each question, starting with voting intention and ending with area. You will now take your raw data file, and we are going to sort by the likely voter question. So only those who are very likely voters are going to be included in our survey. And we'll go to our data and we'll sort by question K, which is the screening question. We'll scroll down and you'll see everybody who's not a 1 is going to be removed from our sample, which should leave you with 1,110 responses. And then we'll also just make sure that these are total responses, so we'll go to the last question and sort, and you'll see that they'll all be full responses. You will notice that in here, in this part of the survey, there's some questions that are answered and some are not, and that's because we used a split half design where we asked if people what they thought of the Affordable Health Care Act versus what they thought of Obamacare. And then we also asked if they had signed up for healthcare.gov, and those who had signed up were given a contingency question on if it was successful. So now that we have all of that, we're going to copy our data into SPSS. So we'll click over here and scroll down. And you'll see we're taking out the 1,110, even though it says 1,11, it's really 1,110 because there's a header row that we're not including. We'll now go back to SPSS and we'll paste in our data. Control and paste. So now that we've pasted in our data, we're going to run a quick analysis. And we'll go down to our crosstabs, and then we'll set our crosstabs up with gender in our column, party affiliation in our row, and then we'll take area and put it in our layer. We'll click OK, and now we will have our data, and we'll click Control C to copy it. And now we know that in area 1 we have 83 people, and we know what the gender breakdown is by party affiliation, which we'll be using in just a moment. So we'll come back here to our parameters, and we're just going to paste that in. Now, looking at your parameters page, we're going to say, okay, we know that we need 434 people in our sample, because I've given you that information. So we're going to put 434 right there, and we're going to do an equal 434 times the size of the region. And now we know how many people within region 1 we need to make sure that we have a representative sample by proportion on region 1, 2, so on to region 11. So then within our regions, and for instance in region 8, it's nearly 9% of the sample, we need 37 people. So now what we'll do is we'll open up a couple new cells, and we're going to label this equal, and we've got our 34 people, and what percentage of them are Democrats, so we need to multiply it. And if this happens to you, it just means that we need to redo the cells, format the cells. Those are percentages. We just want to turn them into numbers, and we don't want any decimal points. So we'll go back to the next one. We'll click on our numbers, take out the decimal points, and then finally that one should be all set as it is. So we'll go multiply. Now we have 31. Out of the 43 people, 13 are going to be Republicans, and finally we'll hit our 34.5%, and out of those 43 people, 15 should be 14.8. And we're going to fix all of that in a second just so it's a little easier to read. But before we do that, let's now decide how many need to be males. So this is Democratic total. This is going to be males and females. And then we're going to have Republican total. And let's just open up a couple of more columns. And this will be male and female. And then we have our independent total and our male and female. And we'll make these just a little bit smaller so this all fits on the same page. Okay, so now we're going to take our 15 and we're equal 15 times our males, and then we'll do equal 15 times our females, and you can see we need 8 males and 8 females. We'll do the same thing here, 13 times our males, and then equal 13 times our females. And finally, we'll do our independents, which are, and we'll fix that in one moment, 15 independents. Let's just move these over. And we have our 15, we'll multiply it here. But again, as you can see, these numbers have too many decimal points, so we're going to just format our cells, take out our number, and move it down to 0 decimal points. And then we can simply copy these cells and paste them down, and it'll do all the math for you. All of the formulas, as you see up here, just copy themselves down the page, and we know how many in each region we need to be representative of the whole. So what I like to do now is copy my parameters that I've just created and put it on a new sheet, and we'll paste them in. So we'll go in and we paste it as a value. In this way, all of our formulas that we had before are now values. We'll also go to our format cells and turn them back into our numbers with 0 after the percentages. So now we're also going to start taking out some of these, so it'll be easier for us to look at when we look at our next set of data, which is to take out certain people from each one of the populations based on the quotas we just created. So if we look here, we can see in region 1, let's just paste this over. So in region 1, we can see we have 13 male Democrats. What we want is 8 male Democrats. So 5 minus 13 would give you negative, 8 minus 13 would give you negative 5. That's how many people we need to take out. 7 minus 16 will give you negative 9, and that's how many people we need to take out. We'll now do that for the remainder of this. And now you have put in all of the numbers you need to eliminate. And one way to make sure that you've got the right totals here is to simply add up all of these numbers, and that should give you 676. So if you put in 676, and then we know our sample is supposed to be 434, if we just add 676 plus 434, that's our 1110 people. So now we have to go into our Excel and sort the data. We'll go into Excel here, and we are going to sort our raw data by our, we'll move it up. Remember, I have congressional district in twice. So congressional district is our region, and then within our region we'll put in our gender. So, and then from our gender we'll put in our party, and then finally we'll put in our dial start time or call start time. They're both about the same number. And we put it in, and remember, we're going to use a last in, first out. Some people would use a first in, first out. Others will use random assignment when using this method. But what you'll see here is that these are our gender questions. So I'll just highlight that so you can see those are all of our males and all of our females, and these are all in District 1. Here's District 2 males and District 2 females. You'll also see over here that in District 2, out of our males, these are all of the independents we have. And these are all of the Republican males in District 2. And these are all of the Democratic males in District 2. So we're going to start up here in District 1. And what I would recommend is writing down these numbers so you know what you're supposed to take out. So we know that in Region 1, out of our males, we need to take out 5 Democrats. And we can see here, these are the last ones to come in. So we're going to go up, count up 5 columns, and delete the 5 Democratic males. Then we know that with Republicans, we need to take out 6 Republican males. So again, we'll get our 6 columns and delete that. And then our independents, we know we need to take out 9. So we will scroll up to 9 rows and now take out our 9 independent males. So then our females, we need to take out 9 Democratic females. So you can see this is our female category. So we'll come down here to number 8, 9. And we'll delete this. And then we need to take out 8 Republicans females. So we'll start down here. And we take out our last 8 Republican. And then our 3 independents, which will be right here. And then we'll do this again for all of the districts. We'll do one more together in District 2. And then we'll come back and have it all done. So in our Region 2, we know we're in Region 2. These are our males. And what we need to do is take out 3 male Democrats. We're going to need to take out 8 male Republicans. And 10 male independents. And then we will need to take out, on the females, 5 male Democrats. And 7 Republican females. There's my Republicans. And finally, our 5 independent females. And of course, as you go through, you want to make sure you have enough, you've been cutting the right amounts of people. So if you look here in Region 1, we were supposed to have 43 people when we finished, and we have 43. Even though it's line 44, remember that it is that there's a header row. So now we'll do that for all of the 11 districts, and then we'll come back with our final data. And now once you've cut all of your data, so you're down to your 434 people, you'll scroll down and you'll have the right amounts in each one of the districts like you see here. And we'll copy these cells, we'll paste it into Excel, and just like that, pasted it in, and now you'll run your analysis for the quiz.